I'm interested in renting an e-bike. I'm just wondering what the process would be for that, please.
Yeah, at the moment we've got a whole bunch of Sports and Zeros just coming in the door right now, actually.
Awesome. Hey guys, my name's Andy and welcome to the channel. Today I am off to get a Zoomo e-bike and I'm pretty excited about it. Let's go. Okay guys, here it is, the Zoomo Sport. I've had it just over 24 hours. I was actually going to shoot this whole video outside, but obviously Melbourne being Melbourne, weather had other ideas, so here we are in my garage. If you know, you know. So, first reactions, really smart. Like, it looks good, doesn't look cheap at all. So Zoomo, they seem to have two main bikes, this, which is the Zoomo Sport, and then the Zoomo Zero. Now, the guy who served me at the shop when I picked it up, his name was Noah. He said that probably about 90% of the people who rent these bikes are using them for food delivery. Now, I'm not going to go too far into the food delivery aspect in this video. I will do a following video on that where I'll do a shift with Uber Eats and DoorDash, etc. So make sure you subscribe if you want to see that. In this video, I'm going to go over some of the specs and features, and then I'll go over the pricing because it's not as simple as it looks on the website, but I'll talk more about that later. And then we'll take it for a bit of a ride so you can see how it performs. It's my first time riding an e-bike. As soon as I got out of the shop and I jumped on it and started pedaling, it was almost like a surreal experience. It's kind of like cycling on cheat mode. Like it's only a 250 watt motor, which is actually the max you're allowed in Australia. I don't know if you're aware, but we have a bit stricter rules here in Australia compared to other countries. Other countries you see like 750 watt and things like that. In Australia, the max you're allowed for an e-bike to be road legal is 250 watt with a max speed of 25 kilometers an hour. The way I interpret that is you can go faster than that on your e-bike, but at 25 k's, the motor will actually just stop assisting you, so then you'll be just pedaling on your own. So if you can pedal faster than that, then more power to you, but that's when the motor cuts out. Also, when you stop pedaling, the motor stops. So I don't know if that, I think in other countries you can have it so the motor just keeps going, which would obviously be pretty cool because at that point it's basically just like an electric motorbike. But yeah, not the case in Australia here at the moment anyway. But yeah, so this is the Zoomo Sport. I'll just chat a little bit about it. So to get it started, it's really easy. You just, well, so first of all, I'll talk about the battery. So that's the battery. And you also get a lead to charge that up. And to put it in, you just go like that, 2 hands, bosh, in there. And then you just push the button on this display. Then you've got 30 seconds just to tap your fob on there, and there you go. So this is the display. It's basically got a speedo there, and you can control the assistance. So you can push it up. You've got 5 levels of assistance. To be honest, when I was using it yesterday, I was sort of switching between 3, 4 and 5. 1 and 2, I guess it's eco, if you wanted to save your battery a bit, but yeah, if you want to get any sort of speed up, you're looking at 3, 4 and 5. As I said, the max legal speed is 25 kilometers an hour in Australia. But like literally, I was going up hills at that speed and not even being out of breath at all. The only time it felt like it was even a little bit of exercise was going up a crazy steep hill at max speed. And that's it. So this is the phone holder that it comes with. Obviously it's vital, that's my dog there, Lockie. Obviously it's vital if you're doing food delivery, but even if you're not, it's good just to have your map and things on there. It looks like it's not secure, but it really is. Like that's like a solid screw pin there, and that is rock solid in there. The grips on them are really comfortable because this is obviously, it's built in mind for, you know, food delivery couriers to spend a whole day on this, like 8, 9, 10 hour shifts. So the grips are actually amazing. Nice brakes, the brakes are disc brakes. front and back. And then we've got the front suspension here, which isn't on the Zero. So the two main bikes they have are the Sport and the Zero. This one's the Sport. It is a better bike in my opinion, and the guys at the shop seem to think that as well. The only reason you'd get the Zoomo Zero is that it doesn't have this top bar here. So getting on and off all the time with your food bags and things. So if you imagine it's just got this bottom bar here, that's going to make it a lot easier getting on and off with a food bag. However, I'm about 6 foot and like it doesn't really bother me. Like it's not that high. I mean, you can still get your foot through there, or you can swing your leg back around if you're comfortable. Obviously, you just got to keep your bag straight if you are doing food deliveries. Other than that, what's the difference? So there's a Sport has 9 gears, which is like a regular, like a mountain bike gear or road bike gears. If you really have not ridden a bike before and don't know how to use gears and that, then the Zero might be better for you as well, because I think that doesn't have that. It has 5 gears, but they work a little different. And it's like a grip shift, and basically it's a lot easier to get wrong. But not that this is complicated, but there you go. And this, so the engine is actually in the back, or the motor, I don't know why I call it an engine, is actually in the back, and on the Zero it's on the front. I'd rather have it at the back. I think that just makes more sense to have it at the back, but yeah, each to their own. And this is the D-lock that they give you, and they also give you a big cable as well, which you can then connect to lock up the front wheel. And then, as I said, the battery can be removed, which is actually one of the most expensive parts of the bike. So if you're leaving it somewhere overnight, that's probably worth doing. They do all have GPS on them, so if it is stolen, they may be able to get it back. If they don't, you're gonna have to pay some money, and I'll go over that later in the video, because there are sort of varying options of insurance and things depending on how much you want to pay for your subscription. And this is obviously a back rack there. You can buy an extra rack if you want to put your bag in there instead of wearing it on your back. That was like an extra $10 a week, I think. So yeah, as you'll find out, they have a lot of different add-ons that you can buy, and it could very quickly just really run up a big bill to the point where it's not worth it. But yeah, that's up to you. So we've got lights here, rear and at the front. To get that going, you hold this button up there. So they don't flash or anything. They do sell flashing ones, or lease them, or maybe just sell them actually. Again, obviously that's an extra additional fee. But these are like basically just provide you with a bare minimum that you're going to need to be safe and legal in the dark. Hold it again to turn it off. You can see here you've got your battery indicator and your range, 98 kilometers to go. Is that right? That seems like a lot. 98 kilometers on one charge, wow. And do you know what? You could probably actually do that quite comfortably. It's not tiring at all riding one of these. I mean, you can't really go super fast, 25 to 30 kilometers an hour, but you won't get tired doing that. Little belt. There you go, lovely. Kickstand. Mud guards. Yeah, and that's about it. Alright, it's probably time we took this out for a spin. By the way guys, if you've made it this far, I think it's safe to say you're not hating this, so please consider subscribing, especially if you're into food delivery, Uber Eats, DoorDash, etc, because I will soon be doing a shift on this e-bike, and I will be posting up the results so you can see what it's like. Previously I've only ever done food delivery in a car, so I'm keen to see the difference, especially as fuel's getting really expensive at the moment. And yeah, I have a theory that in highly dense traffic areas, e-bikes will actually be quicker. So yeah, make sure you subscribe, and then you'll know as soon as that video's up. Right now I'm going down a hill. Going well over 30k an hour. It's a fairly decent hill. I'm flying up. No problem. Like this little sort of 1-2 minute ride up this hill, by the end of it you'd be pretty gassed. But on this it's fine. And this is off-road, so if you were doing food delivery, you're unlikely to come across a little track like this. If you're commuting, maybe. Good thing about this compared to a normal bike for commuting, the problem with commuting to work, like if you work in the CBD or whatever, when you get there you need a shower, or I do anyway because I'm sweating. But literally with this bike you can do a half-hour commute, you get there and you're not even broken into a sweat at all, which means it's way quicker than public transport and even travelling by car. I'm currently travelling up an absolute beast of a hill. Got on 5 assistants. I'm almost having to stand up. I am standing up now. So yeah, even massive hills you are still going to have to work a bit. But to be honest, you don't see many cyclists coming up this road. Or even runners. Like literally when I run up this road, by the end of it I'm knackered. Bit of noise from the bike there, not sure what that is. Oh well. There we go, we're up. That would be a completely different story on a normal bike. The fact I'm still able to talk says it all. Albeit a bit out of breath, but yeah, not too bad, not too bad. Okay, so here we are on the Zoomo site. Just before I get into the pricing, this is their range of e-bikes, and this is the Zero that I was talking about. And you can see here it's got the lower bars. It's got no top crossbar like the Sport has. So yeah, that just makes it easier to get on and off. Okay, so these are the 3 pricing plans. Bearing in mind, these don't include insurance. So as you can see, so we've got the light plan, $39 a week, flex, $79 a week, or the boost, $49 a week, which is basically all the perks of the flex plan, but obviously $30 cheaper, but it's a minimum 3-month turn. Whereas the light and the flex, you only need to give 7 days notice, and then you can just cancel your plan. On top of this, there's an extra $10 a week, which reduces your liability. So I think it's something like $2,500 if your bike gets stolen, or if you basically write it off, then you're liable for $2,500. Or you pay for insurance, $10 a week, and then your liability is only $500 if it gets completely stolen, or if you take the battery off. So if you've got the battery, but then your bike gets stolen, it's only $250. So going into the shop, I was pretty much sure I was going to be getting the light plan for $39 a week, plus an extra $10 for insurance. Look, it's up to you. If you think you don't need that, that's fine. I bottled it and thought, right, I'm going to get insurance. So I got in there, and straight away the guy's like, yeah, most people don't actually get that because you can only travel 150k per week on it. And I said, well, look, I'm only going to use it a weekend, so that's enough. And then he started talking about the servicing. So if anything goes wrong with it, like literally a flat tire or anything, you have to pay for the parts, and then you have to pay for the servicing, $1 per minute. So straight away now I'm like, oh God, this is like, I'm just getting rinsed here. You know, and then I started looking around the shop going, what have I walked into here? And I was sitting on this armchair and I noticed that one of the arms was all broken. And I was like, and all of a sudden I was like, I don't know if I like this anymore. And I was like, well, then I was thinking, well, what are the chances of something happening? But then I just thought, if something does, like you can't control if you get a flat tire, right? So, and I thought if that happens, it's just going to really ruin the whole experience for me. So I was like, okay, right, well, look, how much is the flex plan then? And he was saying, yeah, 79 a week. And I was like, all of a sudden, I'm now paying double what I thought I was. Obviously, this is unlimited kilometers. So if you're doing it full time, you're probably going to need this anyway if you're going to do more than 150 K per week, because you'll probably go through that pretty quickly, even if you do like a full day or two, really. And then, yeah, so then I'm like, oh, well, this is now double what I was expecting to pay. I think you could see I wasn't too pleased about that. So he added on a couple of discounts, because they actually do discounts for Uber Eats discounts. So they take like 25% off. So he added on these discounts, and it ended up being just over $60 a week, which I thought, that's not too bad. And then you are actually covered. Like if anything goes wrong with it, you take it in and they'll fix it for free, basically. So yeah, ended up doing that. Make sure you mention that you're going to be using it for Uber Eats or Deliveroo or DoorDash. I think they're the three companies which have a partnership with Zoomo. Even if you're going to be using it for commuting, just say you're going to be using it for food delivery. I'm sure they're not too bothered about it. And it is a great bike for commuting, as I'll go over later. And then long term, if you are going to do it seriously, it's probably worth switching to this boost plan here. And they use your bond to pay for the first month or something like that. Like they're very good at selling it all to you. But yeah, so this is probably the most value for money. It's all the perks and it's cheaper, but it's 3-month term. So yeah, you can't do it for a month and then quit. And that's billed monthly. So yeah, something to think about there. It's not as simple as you think. So don't go in there. Just be mindful of these situations as you go in there. And they are going to try and upsell you on other stuff. Like for example, you can get racks that fit on the back. That's an extra $10 a week. They sell lights. They weren't really trying to push the lights. To be honest, they weren't even really trying to push the rack. They were just really trying to push me onto this plan, which I ended up doing once they'd put on these discounts. So yeah, just be mindful of that. It's not as cheap as it sounds. 39 a week is crazy cheap. So you're going to be paying a bit more than that. But even at 60 something I'm paying now, that's, 2 hours work. So it's not too bad. And if you're doing it full time, you're going to spend more than that on fuel anyway. So yeah, I think that just about covers it. This is what it comes with here. So it comes with your phone holder, which I showed you earlier, the U-lock and a cable, and then your servicing and support. Hey guys, hope you found that useful. Yeah, in summary, I like it. I think it's great. They look great. They're very easy to use, super comfortable. I'm in love with those handlebars, man. I could just use that all day. They cost a little bit more than I first thought, so that's something to think about. But if you're going to be doing at least a couple of hours food delivery per week, or if you're commuting every day, like if I was commuting every day, I would definitely be using one of those to do it on. And then you're saving on public transport and that as well. And then you've got to think, if that is your only mode of transport, like you don't also have a car, then that's great, because for a couple of hours work, you've now got transport, and you could quite easily travel and see a mate who's half an hour, 45 minutes away, without worrying that you're going to be absolutely knackered when you get there and then dreading riding home again. So yeah, I like it. One thing I forgot to mention earlier, if you do the maths, it works out, instead of renting it, like after a year, you would have been better off just buying it. So if you do think you are going to be using it long term, maybe consider buying one. You could always rent one for a little while, see if you like it, and then jump in. I think you'd have to then do your own servicing, although I wouldn't be surprised if Zoomo actually sells some kind of servicing package in the same way that you get like AA or RAC for your vehicle, for your car. Apologies for the camera angle. Whilst I was out on the bike there, it was a little bit low, so it's pointed at the bike instead of up front, so I'll lift that up a bit next time. And yeah, I'm excited about that. We're going to do a couple of shifts. Not sure where yet. Might do it along near the beach somewhere nice on a sunny evening, sunset session. Bit of music alongside it. That would be nice. So be sure to subscribe and keep an eye out for that. And until next time, if you've got any comments, if you've got any questions about these bikes or any other bikes, or if there's other bikes that you want me to review, let me know in the comments below. All right. And until next time, take it easy, and I'll see you later.